My name is Christian Cantamessa, and I'm the writer of Moving Hazard and also a game design consultant with PsyOp.
So, Christian, tell us what's going on in the world of Moving Hazard.
So, people immediately presented with the concept of the game. I think this is a shooter game with zombies, and we've seen this a million times before. But actually, there is a very, very interesting new angle that we've tackled with Moving Hazard, and it is there's more than just one new angle, but the primary one is that we're considering the zombies as the fruit of weaponization technology. So we're often left wondering who's created the zombies, where they come from. There's a virus or there's some mysterious reason. And actually, our game provides an answer for what happened. The zombies were created by the military as a weapon. And when they lost control of this weapon, the world was overrun by the zombie apocalypse. But also what's really interesting is that affords us the opportunity now to tackle one side of the world that we don't often see explored in this type of story, which is the world of the military. In the world of Moving Hazard, the military has taken over. The military have created city-states where they're essentially protecting themselves and their citizens, and it is a very militarized society. They can control the zombies because they created the zombies to begin with. And that's why you have the hook in the game, where you're not only using weapons like guns and grenades, but you're also using weapons that originally, 50 years ago, because our story takes place 50 years after the zombie apocalypse, after the military lost control of these weapons, so to speak. They still have that technology in the same way they still have the technology to manufacture AK-47s. And so all of a sudden the zombies that in all the other stories and games and movies are just simply an enemy to run away from or shoot in the head, in Moving Hazard become a possible weapon to use against your opponent.
Now, as a writer, what does that open up for you creatively when you're writing for a game as opposed to a TV show or movie?
A game is it's very interesting because it allows it inserts the player into the story, and so you have to account for his agency and his participation. And one way we do this in a multiplayer game like Moving Hazard is that we wanted to create a very strong backstory, a very believable world to inhabit, and reasons for things to happen, like why are you fighting in these environments, and why are you meeting these characters, and why are you these characters. But once you've created very strong backgrounds and very strong backstories, then you kind of want the players to roam free and kind of tell their own stories.
What's it been like seeing storytelling evolve in the gaming world over the last 10 years?
It's been very, very interesting, especially since I've been in the games industry for 16 years. So I kind of saw games really develop from more sort of Twitch gameplay activities into phenomenally powerful storytelling medium, and I'm excited by all the different opportunities that are available for telling stories in games. Sometimes, like in a game like Moving Hazard, you focus more on creating a world and world building and conveying the story through just the player activities and the elements that are external to the game session itself. And sometimes in games like The Last of Us or Red Dead Redemption and the Grand Theft Auto games, you actually have a narrative that's very well written and very powerful.
What's fun for you creatively to write a game that features zombies and people blowing them up and people weaponizing them?
I think it's just really fun to take something that people think is trite and has been done a million times before and really apply your creativity and the limitations of the medium and just come up with something completely new. And I feel like it was a challenge for sure, but it's also been extremely rewarding to come up with a storyline and a world and a backstory and new weapons and new items that just takes the world of zombies in a new direction that we haven't seen before.
Speaking of World of Zombies, why do you think they've withstood the test of time over the last 10 years? We've seen a resurgence recently with AMC's The Walking Dead. They were in Red Dead Redemption in the DLC and now in Moving Hazard.
I feel like zombies are like, though they're younger in terms of creation, they are like one of the mainstays, like vampires and werewolves and demons. And I feel it's because they just connect to an aspect of our humanity, and more than that, an aspect to our society. All these creatures, all these ghouls were created, whether in centuries ago or in modern times, to kind of connect with some deep-rooted emotions and fears of mankind. And I feel like zombies connect to the fear of what is not dead and what it means to be dead, and the uncanny body horror of something that is dead that comes back to life. And also they have an added element of social commentary, because all the great zombie stories also make a commentary on our society and the way we live, from George Romero's stories to hopefully Moving Hazard, which, in my opinion, when it's with its military background, there's a little bit of connection with the Manhattan Project and the invention of the atomic bomb.
So if someone wanted to get into being a video game writer, where would they start?
They would start by writing. I feel like it's very important for people to establish themselves with smaller projects, independent games, anything they can do themselves, and then put their work out there. The internet is now, and gaming itself is now completely democratic, so it's possible for one person to do a game, put it out there, and have millions of people play it. There's great communities like Indiecade where developers can go and connect and network, and I feel like doing stuff, and if you want to be a writer, writing in the medium of games are always going to be the strongest opportunities to stand out.
And last question, what excites you about VR as a writer for people to actually experience games in a whole new way like they never did before?
VR is going to be an entirely new beast that will bring so many different elements and so many different aspects to the equation. There will definitely be gaming in VR, but there will also be films in VR. There'll be television, there'll be live events, there'll be so many. VR, it's more akin to saying a computer or a television set than on saying gaming, which is a use of the television set and the computer. That said, I think that VR can add a lot of immersion to video games, and there will be a lot of video games that will innovate in the VR space. I'm excited personally about the sense of presence that VR brings to games, and also I've seen recent examples of location-based entertainment built on VR, where you go and explore physical spaces, but the VR world is rendered over them, and I feel like that will also be very exciting.